right, let me get focused. Let me make sure I got some. What is going on here? Okay. Make sure I got some sound. Because that be the worst part, not having no sound. All right, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Come on in, guys. Come on in. Come on in. What is up, guys? Come on in. Just getting started. How was y'all day? Hey, Trina. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Jackie. Hey, what's up? What's up? I'm about to get started. So I'm just going to jump straight into it. For the ones that don't know, this platform, I'm trying to find us some soft music in the background, trying to put on like some neo soul. But for the ones that don't know, I am Coach Nye, and this platform is pretty much all about, teaching you how to love yourself. You're finding your purpose and learning how to operate in your purpose and not your passion. Your passion is good. You got to bring your passion. But in order to be the best version of yourself and to self-heal and to grow, you have to know how to operate and function in your purpose. How do you find out what is your purpose? That's what we talk about, finding your purpose. So I'm going to let more people come in, but we're just going to chat on a couple of things. So a lot of the things that I do is I tell a testimony. I use myself as an example because a lot of people don't understand your testimony and the things that you go through in life is to help other people. So when you're helping other people, it helps them become a better version of themselves. Thank you, Cindy, for the rose. So, a lot of people like to keep that within, and they like to say, oh, I don't want nobody in my business. I don't want nobody in my business. And then they wonder, why do they keep, things keep happening to them? Why they keep having one hiccup after the next hiccup? And then they keep keeping it to themselves like, oh, no, this is my business. I don't want nobody in my business. Well, here's the reason why things keep happening to you. Because that story is to be told. It's a thing that when you self-heal, you learn how to operate from a place of that's not prideful, and you learn how to not operate in your ego. Now, if you chose to tell the story that happened to you, tell your testimony, tell your story, then things wouldn't keep happening to you. God put us through things so we can help the next person. So I go through things and I'm like, God, why am I going through this? Why am I going through this? And then you go through them. And then you're trying to figure out why this keep happening to me. But then when someone else is going through it, you still don't give them your 2 cents to help them out. You still don't go to them and say, hey, I went through this, because you're so prideful. And that's what happens when you operate out of your ego. You cannot be in your healing, self-healing and self-love. Thank you guys for the likes, shares, and follows. I ask that you guys invite others. You cannot be in your self-healing or your self-love journey and you don't understand what a testimony is, or you're operating out of your ego. And as I talk about, a lot of people, they go into this healing journey or this self-love with the outtake of and then they come out on the other end selfish. How do you go in hurt and come out and you call yourself healed, but you're selfish? Well, that selfishness comes from, it becomes another barrier that they put on themselves. It becomes another a layer of protection for them. It's just their way of protecting themselves or their heart, because what they just went through, they're telling themselves, I'm never going to let that happen again. So this time, and then they create negative barriers, undesirable barriers. They create these barriers that are unachievable, that keeps them in the back seat of, their own car ride. It keeps them from getting to the next level of where they're supposed to be, because that barrier, what you just did is someone hurt you. You decided to go within and heal. And what you came out is saying, hey, that's never going to happen to me again. Every man cheat. Every woman cheat. Every person lies. Everything is bad. This is horrible. That is horrible. And you say those things, and then that's now you put a whole nother layer on people, anybody being able to get close to you. Now you're sitting around, why don't nobody love me? I can't find nobody. Everybody trash. And then you lump everybody into this one pot that you created. So you create that pot, and we create that pot of everybody's so wrong is because every time we get ourselves in a situation, we only receive the negative because we taught ourselves that only bad can happen. So let's look at it. I get into a new relationship. He can do 20 things good, right? He can do 20 good things. But then that one bad thing, there it is. I knew they was all bad. Or that one thing that she does that, and then you're like, oh, there was a red flag that happened to me before. And we lump those people into the everybody pot. When that person doesn't belong in the everybody pot, it belongs into, hey, that was a red flag for me. Let me have a conversation. And let's have this conversation and talk about it. Now, don't get me wrong. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted over here. Now, you will stay in that pot of, you doing me wrong forever if you're a repeat offender. So if you constantly doing it, you know what I mean? And I give you another chance, and then you go do it again. And I give you another chance, and you go do it again. Then I give you another chance. I mean, to the person that keep giving the chances, I want to just tell you it's time for you to go heal. Because we only give people chance after chance because we see the potential in them. But if they don't see the potential in themselves, then what are you going to do to make them see it? It's nothing you can do. It's just like if a person is insecure. So with me, I have a lot of dating is a problem with me. Dating new people is a problem with me. Now, people that have known me for years, I have known me for some time, I'm an easy person to date because now they realize that, oh, she's just really laid back. She's not this, she's not that. The person that they create in their mind. So the problem that I have with dating people that don't know me is their insecurities meet me where I'm at. Now, it does not mean that they're a weak person. Ladies, get that out of your head. Sometimes we just intimidate men. And men, you intimidate women. Because here's the thing. If you can carry a table all on your own, right? If you can seat a table of 12 on your own without anybody else, no help. You a single mom. You're taking care of business. You got, businesses. You got things going on with yourself. That is very intimidating. Not saying that the man is looking at you like, hey, she better than me. Some of them do. Some of them sassy now. But what it is more of what can I do? What can I give to a person that have everything? Well, that's where you met me at with your insecurity. And that's a you problem, not a me problem. Now, here's the only problem that I have with that is it was times that I would see the potential in people like, okay, I have to, A-Town, what's up? I have to, sit back and chill because I've been down this route. I already know how this is going to go. So I have to give him a way of feeling like, and that was wrong. I should not have to give any man, and man, you should not have to give any woman that space so they can feel comfortable around you. That's just what they should feel anyway. You don't make yourself less, or you don't change the way who you are to make someone else comfortable. Thank you for the follow. If they're not comfortable, that's okay. That's a them problem. What you can do is allow them to get to know you. And if they choose to shoot themselves in the foot and, walk away, then let them go. Don't chase them. Do not go after them, because now that is a narcissistic trait of, okay, well, I'm going to pull away from her. I'm going to pull away from him, and I'm going to go this way. And then where the person, us, we're sitting around like, well, what just happened? I just want to know what happened. And what they're trying to do is bait and hook you to bring you in, right? To reel you in so you can chase them, to make them feel better about themselves so they don't have to say these words. Well, you made me feel insecure. Do you understand? You have to allow people to be who they are and you be who you are. I can't change who I am. What I'm gonna do? Say, God, I don't want this job no more because I want to, men to stop running from me? No. Men, just because you are a great provider does not mean that you need to make that woman feel like, okay, what can I do if he can do everything? Now, women, you can't go and run away from this man because his mom taught him how to take care of himself and you. See, his mom taught him how to cook, how to clean, how to provide, how to take care of himself, take care of you, take care of his kids. He was taught these things, whether whoever taught him, but he was taught these things. And these are good traits that he had, but you can't run from him and say, well, he do everything. He let me be a woman. Let me take care of woman things. When all it took was a conversation of you being honest and saying, hey, you make me feel insecure because one, you can cook better than me. Two, you can clean better than me. It's things like that. It's all about having that conversation. Hold on. It's all about having that conversation. And if you can't have that conversation, I'm sorry, guys, I had to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. But if you can't have that conversation and keep it a buck and keep it 100, then you don't need to be in a relationship. That's what a relationship, friendship, any kind of ship there is. Because it was a point in time in my life, I didn't know how to have a conversation. It's not that I didn't want to have a conversation. Thank you, Chapo, so much for the likes. It's not that I didn't want to have a conversation. I didn't know how to speak to it. See, I was raised in a place that you don't speak and talk about your feelings because that's how I was raised. I was raised also, thank you so much for the roses. I was also raised to look at everyone else. If they're coming down on me, I don't know how to take constructive criticism. I don't know how to do any of this thing. All I know is that I need to fight back because I'm being attacked. See, I was never taught to be an adult and have adult conversations. It wasn't until I decided to heal. When I decided to heal, as time went on, I started being a better listener, meaning that I'm not waiting to respond. Oh, that's another thing that you need to heal. Just because you sit quietly while the other person talk, while your significant other or your friend talk, does not mean that you're a great listener. What it means is when you're ready to combat, but you're going to sit quietly because you about to put the smack down on, what that makes you is an asshole, sir or ma'am. Period. Because all you're looking for is to get your lick back. Thank you for the hearts. That's it. But what if you decided to actually sit back? Don't even be the asshole that gets the notebook and the pen and write down because you're ready to address that topic. How about you sit back, listen to understand? Once you listen to understand what's about, you may not even have to respond to the first thing that person, your significant other, your friend said. You may not have to respond to that because it'll make sense to you in the long run. Let me tell you, it's a guy that, I wouldn't mind dating this guy and, I wouldn't mind marrying this guy. I would not mind being with this guy. Like, this is a guy that has, always been a part of my life for so long. But the problem with him is he loves to cut me off and talk and make it about him. How sassy of you. In my mind, right? It's like, okay, you asked me a question. Thank you for the, you guys, thank you for the like. He asked me a question, right? And I'm getting ready to give him a response. But before I can give him a response, he already has to answer for me. Now, does that make sense? You can't take me out to eat. And this is not the same guy. I'm just giving you examples. And it was another guy. It was one guy I dated. He took me out to eat. And I like raw oysters. I don't know about y'all. Don't talk about me. I like raw oysters. I don't want no steamed oysters. So he tell me to order what I want. So I order my appetizer and some raw oysters. Well, he stopped the waiter and said, now, thank you for the follow. No, she don't want no raw. Give a steam because he likes steam. But see, sir, this isn't your order. See, the problem between me and the other women that you dated, I can pay for my own food and get what I want. But it's the fact that you want to tell me what I want. In those times, if you just sit back and stay in your lane, also women do it too. We have that. Ah, yeah. Oh, girl, Cindy, don't even get me started with that one. But listen, women, just because that man is not responding back to you does not mean that he out there cheating, that he out there got more men. I mean, excuse me. Well, hey, maybe. May have more men. I don't know. More women. It's not out there that he's out there doing his thing. It doesn't mean any of that. It doesn't mean any of that. How about it really just mean that you really getting on his nerves and he trying so hard not to knock the soul through your back? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's trying really hard to disconnect because your head looks so good between the refrigerator and the cabinet. It just looks so good, but he's being a man and he don't want to go back and forth with you. How about he's just sitting back because he know arguing with you is going to make him feel real sassy. So he's like, no, I ain't going to do this. Don't provoke someone to speak to you when they're not trying to speak to you. Allow them that space. So let's get into it. Let's talk about space. So all that leads up to this. In your space, in your alone time, in your downtown, whenever it is, right? Women, men, whatever kind of relationship you is, friendship or whatever. As I talk about all the time, this friend that you may have, thank you for the rose that you just got, and this friend is awesome. That does not mean that that's your friend. That means that this is a person, and people take this friendship thing lightly. Friendship for me means totally different. Friendship to me is like blood to me. So that's why I become really hurt when it falls away, because it means everything to me. You know what I mean? It's a priority in my life. I love it. And so when folks get to acting up and I got to disconnect from you as a friend, it hurts me deeply. But what I learned throughout the years is, just because you're my friend and I can talk to you about this does not mean you're my friend that I'm going to take on hiking trips. Does not mean that you're my friend that I'm going to go have my brunch with, that I'm going to do my kiki kaka and gossiping or my hobbies. Or you're not my end all be all. You can have a best friend, and guess what? That one best friend that you can't tell them pretty much nothing because they always got something to say. And it's not meant for you to tell them that they're just there. That best friend could be just emotional support. The friend that you're going to need anytime you needs some emotional support. And it is what it is. So with that, that's how you categorize people in your life. That's what you do. You categorize the people and put them where you need them to be. Now, with that being said, have a hobby, have your own lane. I don't care if it's your boyfriend, your husband, your friend, whatever it is, whatever kind of ship it is, have a space in your life where there is separation. You can do everything together. Yeah, you can. Go ahead. If that's your spouse and you want to do everything with them, do everything with them. If that's your boo, do everything with them. I mean, hey. But I'm telling you, it's going to hurt you in the long run. See, when men want to spend time with women all day, we call that controlling, right? But when women want to be up under their man all day, the women, we think that's okay. And then he feels that, no, you taking up too much of my space. Like you just too clingy. No, it's a control. Men, call it what it is, because if you do it to us, we call it control. You want to know my every step, where I'm going, and be up under me all day, it's controlling. Guess what? Same thing with women. Men, call them controlling. They ain't going to like it. I don't know how that conversation is going to end. I don't know where y'all going to end up after that, but it is true. It's controlling. If you're going to use it for one way, then use it the other way. The thing with women is we look at it like, I'm supposed to be your best friend. So everything that you want to do, you can do with me. Okay, well, fine. If that man decided when you go hang out with your girls to go sit at the table with you and your girls so y'all can spill the beans and talk about it, then that's a problem, right? So why would you want to be up under him? And that's one thing with me and even when I was married or in a relationship, whatever it was. My whole thing is your friends are your friends. My friends are my friends. Now, we may have mutual friends that we all may get along, and sometimes we may even come together. And that's cool. But don't think that this is going to be an always thing. I have a hobby. I like stuff that I like to do. That means that's my space. You need to learn how to give that space. When I'm working, give me my space. I don't really like talking on the phone too much, but if I'm calling, I'm probably like really, really bored. You know, I got something really funny to say because I think everything I say is funny, right? But anyway, so I have my hobbies. I love landscaping. So that's my thing. So no, sir, I'm not going to say, hey, go do this landscaping with me. Go get this project. Unless you decide this is what you want to do. Like, hey, if you want to take on this project with me. Now, this is the only way me and you going to be in the yard together is if it's something that needs to be done. You cutting the grass and, I'm going to be out there too. But when it comes to my flower bed, if it's a project that you said, hey, we came up with that we wanted to do. Okay, cool. We can do that. Thank you for the follow. We can do that. Right? But when I'm in my zone, I'm in my zone. This is what I do. So the same way with men, ladies, when they're in their zone usually are, I don't know, some of them hang out with their boys. Some of them do be chasing skirts. Some of them do be out there. I don't know what they do. But you know what? If I don't see it, then I don't know it. I'm not going to live my life continuing to say, well, is he cheating and getting in my car, driving around, breaking my neck, trying to look over to make him not see that I'm looking over so I can see the code to get in his phone. I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing that. If you're cheating, it'll come out and we'll deal with it. And that's how you need to live your life. That's what creates a healthier relationship. If you got a hunch that they're cheating, then don't be with them. Why do you want to be with somebody that you always got a question? Same way with men. Why do you want to be with somebody that you always got a question? Be happy. It's called peace. A lot of people don't know what peace is. So let's talk about what is peace. People think peace is just quiet. That's not what peace is. Peace is when you're calm in your mind. And in order to be in a relationship, if you're not calm in your mind, and what I mean by calm in your mind, meaning that if you are sitting around wondering, is he cheating? Is she cheating? Are they really where they say they're going to be? Is this really happening? Oh, they didn't eat, and you counting every little step they go, then you don't have peace in your mind. I will divorce. That's how small it is because peace is everything to me. If you got me in my head and I got to think, go ahead. We need to get a separate divorce. I don't want to be with anybody that I can't trust. The thing is, I want to trust. And when I say trust, I need you to make me feel calm in my mind. Meaning that it's no reason that I should think otherwise. If you say this is where you're going, then that's it. That's what I think. And I'm going to go on about my business. But the moment that I feel that, is that happening? Then I got to, disconnect. And that's how you find your peace. Disconnect from the things that no longer serve you. Things that cause you to constantly think and just dwell on. If you got to dwell on something in a friendship relationship, it doesn't even matter if it's at your job. If you got to dwell on it, why are you dwelling on it? People mix that up because when you look up the definition of meditation, it says to dwell. But to dwell, when I look at dwell, I look at that as so undesirable because to dwell on something, that means I have to give it a lot of energy and a lot of thought. And if I'm dwelling on it, that means that I'm trying to solve a problem. Now, is that problem worth me solving? Is it? Is it worth you solving? That's the type of things that you got to look at. If you have to be in situations or even in a job or whatever it is that you got to be in and you have to dwell and you have to motivate yourself to do things, then please exit quickly. Because in this season, in order to be the best version of yourself and to get into your self-love, which is the book, Self-Love, Trinity Walk to Self-Love, to get on your path and your purpose, you have to release things that no longer serve you. You can't heal and still be worrying about what old boy or old girl doing. You can't say, you know what? I'm breaking up with you, I'm leaving you, I'm divorcing you. But yet you at home, are you searching on the internet and you looking at their doggone profile and all on their page and all this, that, and the you just gotta say, I'm sorry to say it, fuck them, fuck them, fuck them, girl, fuck them, fuck them, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. I mean, I'm just being honest. This is what you just gotta just let it go. You cannot worry about the things that you can't control. Even if it's your job, you can't control how people act. You can't control how your manager talk to you, right? Hear me clearly. What come out of their mouth you can't control. But what you can do is put up boundaries so that they know that what's about to come out your mouth, you better check it first before you bring it this way. You know what I mean? So those are the type of things. If you can't control it, let it go. We're living in a time in this season that while we're trying to find our purpose because we're in the ending of times. Now everything we've been talking about is about to connect. Living in the ending of times. Our grandmothers used to say, oh, it's the end of the time. You know, it's about to end. It's the end of the... And we'd be sitting around like, wait a minute now. Today? Like, I'm 7. Like, today? You know, they've been saying it for years and years. And finally, here it is. The prophecy is unfolding, right? So is it going to unfold the way that they said? This is a spiritual thing that you have to go within. And that's why it's so important to go within and do some self-love. Because within that going within and that self-love, that's when you're tapping into your spiritual side. It's a spiritual awakening that's going on in the times. And a lot of people are going to miss it. A lot of people are going to miss the whole awakening because they don't understand what the awakening is. A lot of people think that, you know, they're Christians. They go to church. They read their Bible. You know, they got a religion. They've been following this for so long. They got to know who God is. Yes, that is the first step, getting to know who God is. But the second step is allowing God to live through you. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. A lot of people look at that as, well, you know, when they say, oh, something told me, or that's not the something told you, that means that you have not went in to do the self-love in the spiritual awakening. Because you would never say something told me because you understand what told you. You understand what moved you, right? So that's why it's so important. So the self-love is nothing that, it's not a train that everybody's on, this mass train of, oh, self-love. And that's what I started off with. They go in being selfish and you're supposed to come out selfless. And the reason why you come out selfless, because God met you where you are now. You have awakened and decided to get a full understanding of who he is. Not what the Bible and everybody else just told you about God, right? It's about your own experience with him. See, the Bible is the prophecy of others. It's the testimony of others. Hey, A-Town, it's the prophecy and the testimony of others, right? It's a guided line. It's a guidebook to help you throughout your journey. It is something that you can refer back to. But at the same time, this is the time, like you have Deborah, you have Esther, you have all these different women, Ruth and all these women. And see, in that time, now you are the new generation of that Esther and that Deborah. And what is going to be your testimony? No, they won't write a Bible about you. Probably not. You probably never if they did a new creation of Bible, you probably won't make it in there. But it don't matter. The history behind it is, you still will have a testimony. And that is the whole purpose. That Bible is the guidelines. The biggest prophecy of all is the guideline of the testimonies to help you get through you. So guess what? When you're going through something, you can go in the different Psalms and you can read about it and it can relate to what you're going through and you can speak that into you. Now, what if they never wrote that out? Then we would never know their testimony and we would never know. So what I'm trying to say to you is, in this season of you becoming who you are and getting into your spiritual wake, is not so much of everything that's been taught to you. Is getting to know God for yourself. It's getting to know your spiritual side. Tap it into the spiritual side. Do you think really, let's look at it in layman's term. Okay, so we talk about in the Bible how God went up on the mountain and he meditated and he did the 40 days, 40 nights, and he just meditated and he prayed and he did this, that, and the third. So a lot of people think that what happened is that he just went up there and No, he went into spiritual form. And in spiritual form, that's how you communicate with God. You cannot talk to God in my human vessel of me, just from my flesh talking to God. Everything is spiritual. That is the whole purpose of the spiritual awakening, getting to know God for yourself and connecting with him that way. Because I could tell you all day, I can tell you everything that happened to me. I can give you my testimony. I can give you all these things. But in this time, you have to go within and go through this self-love. And what is the self-love? Why does the self-love connect to the spiritual awakening? What are you talking about? Well, here's what I'm talking about. The self-love, in order for you to connect and understand with God, God is love. In order for you to spiritually tap in, you have to love yourself. How can you talk to anybody and teach anybody about love, but you don't love yourself? So if I go in and heal all the things that are broken, that's what I mean broken, is that disconnected me spiritually from God. See, when you were born, you were disconnected. See, back then, this generation is born with the veil up. This generation is coming straight out the womb like, hey, manifest it, it shall be. We have taught this generation has taught us, the parents, how to be quiet, listen from a spiritual sense. So in the times where we were born, when we were birthed, people already put the things on us. So if you go back into the Old Testament, when a child is born, they already told that child what it was going to be. They named the child what they felt what is. So if their name equaled greatness, then that's what they would be. So just imagine this, back in the 80s, being born, and before then you're being birthed and you're already told. Even if you go back to slavery, you were already brought in saying that you were going to be a slave, right? But you're going to be a better slave, because I'm going to teach you how not to get beat down like your father. But that's a whole nother story. But what I'm trying to get to is this: as we were birthing children, our ancestors were birthing children, they were speaking the negativity. See, when in the 80s, I'm an 80s baby, so being born, right, it was pretty much, I was told, even if the doctor grab you and say, oh, this one going to be just like the father. Maybe the father's hyper. Or maybe when they see the child, they already put those generational curses on you and disconnected you from the spiritual connection of God. See, this generation coming straight in, it's like they never had the disconnect. We came in with the veil, with the spirits waiting on us at the womb. But this generation is coming straight out with the veil lifted, and they just like, hey, I am greatness. You can't tell me anything. You can't speak upon me, because the spirit in them shines so bright. And that's the thing. When the spirit is in you, nobody can put their mouth on you, even if they wanted to. So even when the father went in and they said the son's name is going to be John, he wanted to name him whatever, God silenced him. And the reason why he silenced him is because of the fact, I see that you're going to speak upon him what you want to speak upon him, which is your flesh. You're going to speak these things on him, and then he's going to become that. See, he is of the spirit. He know no nonsense of what you talk. So, and that's what you have to look at. So in this season, it is very important to go within and love on yourself and to heal within, right? And once you heal within, it connects you back to your spiritual lineage, and it connects you back to where you're supposed to be, in the ranks that you're supposed to be spiritually. Because a lot of you guys are highly ranked spiritualists. You are highly ranked in the spiritual realm. But you don't know that, because you've been told that you're just like your father. You're going to be just like your mother. You're not going to make it much. You're just going to be a wife. You're just going to be a husband. You're not going to make it much. This is the job that you're going to get. You're never going to get the 6 figures. You're never going to have the life. And you believe that. You never broke away from that. And that's why I say a lot of us will be called, but only a few will answer the call and go forward on the spiritual awakening. Because with the spiritual awakening going down to self-love, this is when you disconnect from everything that you've always known. Everything that you've always known, you will disconnect from that. And you will start to question, because you questioned before, but you were told to, don't ask questions. Remember how they would tell us, don't question God. Well, why not? Why not? Why I can't ask him something? I'm trying to get an understanding. How am I going to be the best version of me and be the person that he needs me to be if I don't ask him, hey, am I doing this right? Or why is this happening to me? I need an explanation. See, but because they were taught that, that's why I was the one that was chosen to break the generational curses on my family. And that's why things don't bother me. I'm okay with being, disconnected. I don't like to use the word isolated because isolated is so harsh. Isolated is one of those words that I throw into the undesirable. When it's undesirable, that means that you would never think of it, never wanted nothing. You don't want no parts of it. And the reason why I put it over there, because isolation means that you're away from everybody. There is nothing but you and your thoughts. And when it's just you and your thoughts, it's the devil's playground. I like to say disconnected because God will never isolate us to play in our head so we can play in our own head. What he will do, though, is disconnect us and put us in a place that we still present. We're still present, but we're disconnected from the things that's around us because we're plugged into him. And when we plug into him, he is giving us that energy that we need. It's a transfer of energy. What better person to plug into and get energy from than God himself? I would rather him detach me from everything that's going on and plug into me versus I stay attached to everything in the world and everybody plug into me and I pull the energy from everybody else that only know the things that even I know that society has taught us. So when you go through your self-love and your healing journey, that's what the most important part is learning how to allow God to connect to you because he's always there. He's just waiting on us to say, okay, God, I need some energy. Plug into me. When God plug into you, you will begin to get a download. Things will start making sense, but not making sense. Because now you're going to be questioning yourself when you decide to go on this self-love and this spiritual awakening and this dark night of the soul that everybody talks about. It's not literally, hey, boo, thank you, Naisha. That's my first name, too. But it's not one of those things of you're going to sit around and it's going to be this, this massive mess going on and it's going to be witchcraft and that's not what that means. That's not what the dark night of the soul means. The dark night of the soul mean that you're looking at reality for what it is now. You're starting to see things for what it is. Everything that you once believed is now God is plugging into you to show you something totally different. Now it's causing you to see all the hurt that you pushed away all these years that's in you because you have to purge that. So now if God reflect you to you, that's the worst thing ever. Worse than any breakup, divorce, or anything that you will ever go through in life. Because now you have to come to terms with, dang, that's me. You have to, all that tough, especially me, I'm so tough, I never let anything bother me. I'm like, whatever, it's gone. Whatever. Hey, Michelle, it's gone. Whatever, I don't care. But in actuality, what I did was suppress it. So in that time of me healing, I had to face it. Now I'm sitting around here. Thank you so much for the like, Rich. Now I'm sitting here frustrated. I don't know which way to go. I'm confused. And the reason why I was confused is because I don't want to deal with that. But I have to deal with that to beat level 1 to get to level 2. And level 2 of that part of my life meant that now that I identified that all these things did hurt me, now level 2 is me identifying and coming up with a solution of how to prevent it from happening again and how I'm going to deal with it moving forward. This is the test of a lifetime now. Am I going to go back to everybody that hurt me and say, you know what, you remember you did this? And even if we still friends, right? I got to look at, should I go and check? That's the level 2 testing of your spirit. Not testing of all spirits. It's testing of your spirit. Are you willing to allow your spirit to deal with this situation? Are you willing to go into your flesh and go handle everybody that did something to you? That's why I say everybody don't last in this phase. Some people start the awakening and then just going about their business because they can't understand it. So when you choose, that's right. When you choose to say, okay, I'm going to let the spirit handle it, that's when life happens. See, you only get to level 1. A lot of people can't get past level 1 because it hurts so bad. The reflection of yourself. It hurts so bad. The reflection of how people did you. It hurts so bad. So some people make it past level 2. They be beat up. But they get to level 2 and they like, no, I don't want to surrender. They're stuck because it's the unknown. That level 2 is something serious. Are you going to surrender? See, people think that when the first encounter with God was when you got baptized. No, that's a different type of feeling. That's a different type of feeling. You only gonna know if you know. That was the baby step. We got to the first part of you acknowledge that there is a God. That Jesus died on the cross. You acknowledging that there is a God. You saying to yourself you're going to live for him, but how can you properly live for him if you don't even know you? That's what the awakening is. Learning about you. And getting to know God for yourself. So that's where that comes in. So yes. Take that however you want. Look at it like, have I been living a fake life? That's on you. That's something you and God need to talk about. So let's finish with this spiritual awakening. Now that you're going through it, and when you get to the point and you're like, okay, I surrender. That part right there. Let me tell you something. Mine's happened. It seemed like it happened so fast, but I had been going through a spiritual awakening for years. It's just that I'm in the mode right now. When you finally get to the point of surrendering, this is when the beat down come now. Listen, I'm going to keep it real with you. It felt like I was getting knocked upside my head left and right. It felt like it was just constant. I'll be up one day, I'll be down the next day. I felt like I needed some medication. I felt like I needed to be in a psych ward. I just couldn't understand. If you know, you know. I couldn't understand. I'm like, God, what is this? I'm crying one moment. And I'm like, God, I just want to quit. But I can't quit. It's nothing in me that's going to allow me to quit. So even though I'm like, God, I'm tired, I'm done. I'm doing everything, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm doing all these things, right? But God is hurting. But this is when you learn that, okay, it ain't got nothing to do with you. You surrendered and gave me total control. The Spirit is telling you, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm driving this boat. I'm driving. And while I'm driving this boat, what you're going to do is sit back because you gave me permission. They can only operate if you give them permission. And what the Spirit is doing, the Spirit is driving. The Spirit is driving, and guess what they run into? Oh, this person need help. Let me give them all of me. What? This person need help. He need to be taught how to love. This is going to be his first part of his awakening. So boom. Put him in the car, put him in the passenger side. This man get over here just mistreating me, dragging me through the mud, taking everything from me, done took and sucked me dry. And I'm like, God, I didn't sign up for this, but he's telling me, hold on. The Spirit is letting me know, hey, you said I can control. I'm in charge. Sit back. But I'm not understanding why all this is happening. Then we meet somebody else. Whoa, she need a friend, okay? Get in the back seat. And this girl steal from me, take from me, talk about me like a dog, drag me through the mud, and I don't understand what's happening. God, I don't want these people around me. And the Spirit told me, hey, I need you to shut up. You said that I can drive. You said I can drive. And I keep picking up all these hurtful things and bringing them into my life. And I don't understand. I don't want these things in my life. Why do I keep attracting these things in my life? Why these things keep coming into my life? What is going on? And the Spirit said, hey, stop talking. You said I was in charge. I can drive. And in those moments, what I wasn't understanding, I had to go through all those things because I was being taught something. So guess what? We get to the next stop. I finally like, hey, you get out of my life. Kick him out my life. Kick her out my life. Kick all these people out my life. And we get around the corner and guess what? We start picking up the same type of people, just different bodies. Same energy, different bodies. And the reason why we're doing that is because I still haven't learned in the situation because I'm still telling the Spirit what to do, even though I told him he can have access to me and that he's in total control. So what's happening is now, same thing, drop them back off, go through hell. I get beat up throughout this process. And then we go around into a whole nother city and we pick up the same energy in a different body. And these people come in my car and I'm like, well, God, what is happening? And what was happening is he was waiting on me to allow him to be in control, meaning take you out of it. These things are happening to you right now. This is what you feel. These things are happening to me, but they're happening for me. And the reason why it's happening for me is because it's a lesson to be learned. And until you learn the lesson, we're going to keep picking up the same energy in different people. So now finally, after the 20th time in 1 month of getting beat up, I finally realized it has nothing to do with me. Everything that I do in life has everything with God getting the glory. I am just here as a vessel. I have to go through these things because I'm here not to just teach myself a lesson, but to teach these people a lesson. While I'm teaching them a lesson, yes, what they think they're doing is hurting me. Once I realize that, hey, you're not hurting me, it's the spirit that you're after. You're not after me. So once I realize that, hey, okay, you're coming for me. I get it. Okay. What is it, God, that's in this moment that I need to learn? And that's what I take from that, because that piece that's happening for me, right? That I feel like, oh, it's so hurtful. It's not so hurtful anymore. That's the testimonial piece that I have to use, because the next stop, I'm about to meet somebody else. And instead of letting them in my car this time, I can give them the word of wisdom, because I'm learning. And that's the part of the spiritual awakening. When you learn to surrender, you learn that, okay, it has nothing to do with me. Everything with God get the glory. He gets the glory. Everything that I do is for him. Has nothing to do with me. Everything that I'm doing right now is a testimony for somebody else. So the lesson that I had to learn is, just because this person is in need does not mean that I need to give them all of me. Just because this person is walking does not mean I need to pull over and give them a ride to their next stop. See, their purpose is to learn a lesson. I had to go through it so I can be the testimony, because their lesson is so important for the next person. And sometimes God may use you as that vessel to go through all these things so you can learn a lesson when you like, God, I'm over here chilling. What do it got to do with me? Well, he needs you to do it because he needs you to take the testimony to that person, because that person can't walk in your shoes the way you walk in your shoes, because that person may not make it. That person may clock out. That person may say, I can't do this no more. That person may take themselves off. But you, on the other hand, you're so strong. You're strong. So he sends you through it so you can be the testimony to help that person. And now that person will not lose sight. That person will stay on track, because he has to go through the things, so that lesson to be learned, so he can be the testimony for the person that God is going to bring into their life. That's how it cycles through. And that is the whole purpose of going on the self-love journey. That is the purpose of understanding what the awakening is, being that you're called. Why am I being called? Why am I doing this? Why is this so important? Well, it's so important. It's so important because you have to be a teacher for someone else. That person is waiting on you. That person is depending on you. And that's why a lot of people, you can't go back. Once you started down your path, you can't go back, even if you tried. Because once you surrender, then that's what it is. You cannot go back. So for me, a lot of times, hey, even today, I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. I really want to be done, but I cannot bring myself to say the words of, I'm not doing this no more. I can't. I want to. I want it too bad. Even in the mix of me being sad, and even when I cry and I'm crying out because I'm like, God, this is kind of a little bit too much. I don't want this. I don't want to do this. But I never tell him to take the load from me. Because everything that he gives me, my abundance is attached to it. My life is attached to it. So when I look at, I don't want to do this. If I don't want to go on live, if I say I don't want to go on live, I know that I'm letting somebody down, even if it's just one person. And I'm accountable for that. When you decide to surrender, that means that no matter what happened, you have to stay the course. And you have to tell yourself, stay present. Do not check out. Stay present. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Stay present. You're just a representative. Stay present. Nothing nobody can do to you. People can lie on you. They can come up against you on your job. They can do all these different things to you. But guess what? Stay present. Because they really can't do nothing to you. The lies or the things that they say will fall on deaf ears. It's like they're listening, but they don't care. You always allow who you are to speak for you. Your character, just continue to be who you are. Let that speak for you. Let your work speak for you. Everything else does not even matter. I don't know who needed to hear that. But even with everything that's going on right now, did I freeze? I think I froze. I don't know if I froze. But let me know if I froze. Somebody type yay or nay. Okay, there we go. So whatever's going on, like right now in this world, whatever's going on, guess what? You can't control it. Let me know if you can get over there to Congress, the White House, whatever it is, to control it and make it fix. Let me know. You can't control it. It's not your lane. It's supposed to be the people's choice. But hey, at the end of the day, everything has to unfold the way it's going to unfold. The prophecy is being fulfilled. Now, if you choose to intervene in that prophecy, then you have to answer to God. You're just going to be swept away. Remember they was carrying, matter of fact, I ain't even going to go there. But yeah, so don't get, whether we like it or not, but just know you're going to be okay. God will always provide everything that you need. Now, the things that we want, stay in alignment. You'll get those too. But it is what it is. Trust me, everything that is meant for bad will end up turning to good. Just sit back. Don't panic. You'd be surprised the blessing that's about to come out of this for you. Now, that's enough because I don't talk politics, so that's that. But what I'm saying is stay the course. You continue to focus on you. I'm not getting on no news. I'm not doing all that. I'm not about to freak out. I'm not. What's for me is for me. Can't no one take that away. And that's why it's so important that I stay the course. Stay within my purpose, because everything that I do, my abundance is attached to it. My abundance is attached to it. So if I choose to be nasty to someone just because, I just threw my abundance away. This is why I do not go full speed on people that mistreat me. I don't go full speed on people that mistreat me because I'm always afraid of, okay, God, what God going to do to me? What is God going to do to me? I'm just letting y'all know, listen, I just came from the gym, so I know I'm on here looking a little rough, but it's okay. It's all right. But I just stay the course. I'm not here to please anyone. I'm here to do my job. Now, you have to remember, a lot of people that come on to this, scratch that. I'm going to talk about me. I can't speak for everybody else. This is not my only job. I don't sit around and say, hey, let me get on here and make some money, and let me get on here and do this, that, and the third. I don't get paid for nothing. Now, if y'all give me gifts or whatever, then fine, it equates to. But that's not why I get on here. I get on here because it is my purpose. I have something to say. And if I have nothing to say, you will not see Coach Nye. Okay? So, let me make sure I miss nobody. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for the likes. Thank y'all for the shares. But I'm about to get up off of here because I feel like I said what I needed to say. A-Town. In these TikTok streets. I wish I was. I'm still small timing over here. Hey, motivation. All right, bye, baby. But no. So, catching back up, you guys. You are so welcome. Catching back up, getting us back up to speed so we can close it out is when you decide to go down your self-healing and decide to heal your self-love journey and get on your path. You have levels to the different things that you're going to go on. Don't think that you have to go get every piece of your body tatted up. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go and get all your hair locked up. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go get the biggest crystals that's out there and put around you. You don't have to do that. You don't have to sit in meditation all day. You don't have to do that. Thank you. You don't have to do all of those things to identify that you are a spiritualist. Are you spiritually connected to the divine? Now, What you do need to do is be authentic in your heart. And in able to connect to God, you have to be authentic to your heart. And in order to get authentic into your heart, you have to go into this self-love. You got to learn what love is, and you got to understand that you have to love yourself. Now, think about a lot of things. Now, think about the love that we thought we had. I thought I loved myself. I'm like, hey, yeah, I love myself. Yeah, look at me. I did not love myself because I was letting anyone attach themselves to me. I was allowing people to be around me that didn't need to be around me. I was allowing myself to be in friendships, relationships, whatever kind of ships there was, just to be a people pleaser. I was a people pleaser. Number one, a people pleaser. I couldn't have loved myself. I was the one that always wanted everyone else to be happy. That's not loving yourself. Loving yourself is identifying and knowing who you are, whose you are. Understanding what your purpose is. Understanding what people got to say does not matter. Understanding that, things happen in life and it's not your job to fix it. It's things that you're not in control of everything. It is not your job to fix everybody. You were not put on this earth to everybody that come to you in need, you say, here, take it. That ain't your job. You didn't love yourself. You were doing things for people that you wanted them to do for you. So how can you be authentic in your heart and connected to the divine if you don't even know who you are? Because this is why I say this, you can be easily swayed. Easily swayed. People, and this would get me, a lot of the Christians, a lot of folks feel like, I'm believing that's witchcraft, the different things. And, when they say they talk about Thor, which is, and they talk about the god of this, the god of that. Oh, that's witchcraft. That ain't right. That's mythical. That's not right. That ain't true. This ain't true. That ain't true. And they even talk about the aliens. Oh, that ain't true. That ain't true. Only thing is this, the God. But yet you believe in, as a Christian, you believe that there is a devil. Now, I'm going to break some things down to you. And I'm not trying to change you or anything. What I need you to understand, the reason why it's so important to be connected authentically to your heart so you can connect to the divine, because you'll be swayed by anything. It's different deities out here that will call you. They will call you. And then that's why you see a lot of different beliefs out here, and that different things of, when they become spiritualists, they talk about the different gods, and then they talk about this God, they worship this one, they build their altars and they do this. But then you have the Christians that say what? Oh, they build altars as witchcraft, but yet you have an altar at your church because this is your belief. This is what you believe in. This is who you believe in, so everything else doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is be open-minded. And not be open-minded to sway and go against whatever, the God that you believe in. I believe in my God, and I believe Jesus died on the cross for me. But I also know this, that there are other things out there. And if I'm not careful, and if I don't understand who I am, whose I am, and what my purpose is, you could be easily swayed into thinking that, hey, I'm going to worship this. I'm going to worship that. So be mindful. Okay, that's why it's so important to go within. When you go within, you learn some things. You will disconnect. It's going to change your life forever. You're going to disconnect from whatever religion and everything that you once learned, and you're going to connect directly into God, and He's going to download and teach you who He is, not what everybody else say He is. See, we get caught up on what His hair was like, what color He was, and what land did He come from, and what people He do like and He don't like. Well, the Bible said, and this, that, and the third. But when you decide to self-heal and go within during your awakening and really connect, He's going to teach you who He is. You're going to know Him by His Spirit. What is the Spirit? It's love. Thank you for the follow. It's love. It's not a coincidence that everywhere you turn around, everybody's talking about Self-love. It's not a coincidence. It has nothing to do with you walking around saying, I love me. Look at me. I wake up in the morning. I get my affirmations. You is beautiful. I loves you. I love it. I love it. I with you. I love it. You is beautiful. You're the best. You're smart. You're intelligent. It's not about that. The self-love is learning that God is love. It is the highest gift of all, first off. And God is love. And if God is within you, you need to learn how to love yourself enough to allow God to reside within you. And know how to allow him to take over and operate. Surrender. That's what the self-love is. It has nothing to do with, we say heal your childhood wounds. Yes, you have to heal all those things. You have to do all those things. So therefore, everything that you once knew, you can heal from that and understand that was coming from a place of man. That is not of God. People that mistreated you as a child, that came from a place of man. That did not come from God. If God is love and everything and heartbreak and everything that you went through as a child or whatever it was that you went through, it had nothing to do with God. That is the whole teaching and teaching you how to love yourself. Who is God? What is love? It's not going to start making you. It's a download. Once you plug into him, it is a connection. It is a download. All of a sudden, you'll have the aha moment. You wake up like, wait a minute. It's just all these years. Dang, really? I can't believe that. What? Like something that happened so long ago. Now you got the aha. You've solved the problem. You've been working on this problem your whole life and you found out it was just that easy to fix. Well, why was that easy to fix? Because as you surrender, and it's not that it got fixed, it's just that you took the boundaries off of yourself from learning and being a higher version of yourself. You took the boundaries off of you of ascending. That's what happened. God released you from the bondage that you had all this time that kept you from identifying who you were. See, the enemy will come in your life and what he'll do is rip you of all of that. So you can continue chasing a dream versus chasing your purpose or operating in your gift. So as we talk about that twin flame, the enemy got you chasing some man, got you chasing some woman, putting your thoughts and your everything into this person or this thing, and got you talking about soulmates. A soulmate can be your sister, a soulmate can be your brother, a soulmate can be, got you talking nonsense about things that you know nothing about. You know nothing of it. This is what man tells you. And as long as he can get you chasing those things, then therefore you won't stay on track. What if your soulmate was your spirit? The spirit that lies within you. And you can't get to your soulmate because you got all these different entities, all these different things that's sitting in you, that's blocking you from your soulmate. What if your twin flame was just you versus you? The you that chased what everybody told you all your life. And the you that is spiritually tapped in, that's over there hanging out with your soulmate. What if your twin flame was your yin and yang, your masculine and your feminine energy, learning how to let it go and get a full understanding? What if that was that? What if I told you that that is true? See, with the enemy, he don't want you focusing on that. He needs you to be focusing on what he told you to, and that is to run after. I don't know. Naisha, are you still on there? You know that name means, that name itself means pretty much like new beginnings. Like in the midnight hour, you're like the midnight hour. You're the one that when you come into people's life, things change. I don't know if you know that. But I'm telling you. It also means over in Arabic, beautiful flower. Yes. So the enemy will have you. What's up, Monique? The enemy will have you chasing everything and everybody to keep you off your path. But you waiting for change. It actually is already here. See, it's just things. There's a lot of things happen because you have to meet someone. A lot of things in your life that's happening, right? Your next step, you cannot move to the next step. It feels like you're in the wilderness, but let's just not look at the wilderness as a bad thing. Because when I hear the wilderness, I think about them foolish folks. They wandered around in the wilderness all this time when all they had to do was obey to get to the next step. But what if the wilderness was just a waiting period, right? Because you were waiting on the next step. And that next step, Naisha, in the midnight hour, things change. And just this one word that I may say may give you the aha moment later for you to enter into your promised land. You never know. That's why you don't mistreat people or turn away from people or, not get involved, because you never know. That person might be your next step. Monique, what if I told you I've been waiting in the wilderness because I'm waiting on you? Because you have not answered to your calling. Because you're supposed to be doing something that's supposed to get the message out to me. Like, you supposed to be putting out content. Maybe you supposed to be at work. Maybe you supposed to be over HR. Maybe you supposed to be the one that's supposed to prophesy into my life because God gave you the word. But yet, you not doing it. And since you're not doing it, I'm stuck in the wilderness. That's why it's so important to identify who you are. It's so important in this season to go into the self-love. What if I told you that the whole rapture thing is the way it's written in the Bible? Yes, it's written in plain text, but it meant something totally different. What if I told you that the rapture was the spiritual awakening? It's time for the spiritual awakening. Are you going to answer the call? Meaning that in this season, this is what happened, because the prophecy will be fulfilled. But right now in this season, right, you sitting back. And it's not about people are going to be ascended up into the air and they're going to disappear. It's about people are going to start ascending, meaning that they're about to get into their higher self, that they're about to get connected to God. That is going to be the new earth. That is going to be the new playing ground now. Because what if we're never ever supposed to be, we just read it like, oh, it's going to be like this thing that everybody's going to float away. And one day you're going to look to the left, that person's going to be there. What if it's just as simple as this? Yeah, yesterday I was just there hanging with my homegirl, doing everything that we used to do. But in this season right now, I've been called. It's time for me to step into my purpose, step into what I'm supposed to be doing. And then boom, God has ascended me to higher in my conscience. See, that's what everything begins. And that's what the whole thing of the spiritual awakening, a lot of people don't understand. It is it's an awakening of your conscience. It's not about thinking on the realistic for face value anymore. Everything is about thinking spiritually. So if I was to continue to think just at face value, right? Just look at everything for what it is, then I'll be stuck in the rotation, worrying, stressed out, talking about the country this, the country that, all that. But I'm not worrying about all that. I'm doing what my purpose is. So stop looking at everything for face value. When you become connected to God, that's when the secrets will be revealed to you. In the Bible, it talks about the secrets being revealed. It will be revealed in plain sight to you. What you thought you were reading all these years. You know how sometimes that you can read a passage, every time you go to that passage, this is your go-to passage, but in different seasons in your life, you notice something else is different. Like, wait a minute, that hit a little different. That's what that means? So let me give you an example. When I was a kid, because I read the Bible all when we was a kid, me and my brothers, that's what we did. See, that's something my mom don't even know. To this day, she don't know. When she would go to work or whatever, before we went to bed, this is what me and my brothers would do. We would sit down, open up the big white Bible, and we would read a scripture, right? We would read it, and then we always prayed together. Still to this day, my mother don't know that. See, she instilled that in us, but she don't know that. All the way up until my little brother was killed. He was 14 when he got killed. Every night we prayed. If he was to go upstairs, I don't care how tired I am, I will wake him up. Hey, say your prayers. He will wake me up, say your prayers. That's just what we did. That was our thing. But let me tell you, so when we would read the Bible, man, when we would read the Bible, we would go to the book of Revelation. And when we would read the book of Revelation, we were still in the elementary. When we would read that book, we had to read it together. And the reason, and the reason why we would read it together, because it was scary, kind of, right? Because at this time we elementary, so we read it as a child. So when they talked about the seals, the 7 seals, I thought they were talking about seals. The animal. I mean, what else could they be talking about? Because I was a child. Do you understand? As I got older and I went back, like, wait a minute. What the? I can laugh about it. But in the season that you're in, you're going to read the things the way that your mind can process it. And that's why it's so important when you go on your self-love journey, right? When you go on your spiritual awakening, when you go through those things, it's all about releasing the control of your mind. Spiritual awakening. When you go through those things, it's all about releasing the control of your mind. And what I'm saying is that book that you're going to write, it's going to find the right hands to be in. You don't have to go out and sell it. You don't have to go out and be the one that's like, hey, buy my book, buy my product, buy my this. It's going to find the right people. Okay? Remember that. Stay the course. Do you. Stay focused. I'm proud of you. Remember to pour into yourself before you pour into others. And just because God filled your cup up and it's overflowing does not mean that everybody's supposed to get it. Use your discernment. God will let you know who you can give some of your overflow from. God will never tell you to take out of your cup to give to anyone, because that's something he gave to you. He'll let you, and he'll tell you who to give the overflow for, because that's why he made it the overflow. So therefore you can help others. God is going to make sure that you're successful and that you can do his work, and the glory, he get all the glory, and that you can help others off of the overflow. But use your discernment on who you're supposed to give to and who you're not supposed to give to. I'm proud of you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I want you guys to keep up the good work. Okay? Coach Nye out.